Morning. Today we're on 310, or page 310. It is 5.2, problem 3. All right, guys. First thing to notice, in your homework packet, I don't know if some of you noticed, but Imogen brought it to my attention. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4 pages in, where it starts to go page 361, it repeats what we did last week. Silly Miss Rigetti.
We should just not do the whole package.
I did not the whole packet, but apparently the second half. Okay? So, but wait a minute.
Just those 2 pages.
Just those 2 pages, because some of this you haven't done before. Okay, so skills practice 361, 362, and okay, let me double check. So it looks like there are some repeat pages, and I think it starts right here. Let me get last week's packet. Oh, do I not have any more of those? Here it is. 5.1 assignment. Oh, no. Okay, so it's not those pages. It's the 5.1 assignment pages. Okay, so the ones that say page 61 and 62. Those 2 pages you do not need to do. If you've already done them, I'll give you extra credit. Okay?
Hello.
Here they come.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
How's it going?
And the work book?
Okay. TES, one thing we just noticed. Are you going to zoom in, or do you want me to zoom? There we go. Okay. One thing we just noticed is there's some repeat pages in the packet. Page 61 and 62. They say 5.1 assignment at the top. You do not need to do those. If you already did them, great. That's extra practice at it for you. And I will give you extra credit. Okay? Hello. Hello. Yes. Yes. Should she bring stuff, or is it a quick visit? Okay. Bye. Ruby, SB wants to talk to you. Here's a pass. Yes.
I just had a question on pages 324 and 325.
Okay. While we have our packets out, there's been a question. 324. Oh yeah, these are hard. Somebody was asking me about this yesterday. Okay. 324. Homework packet. Okay. I'm glad you asked. Because this is an area, excuse me, this is an area we had trouble with on the quiz. What they want you to do in these, yes.
What? Never mind.
What they want you to do with this is isolate one of the variables. This time it's B1. So you have to move letters around, similar to how we would move numbers if we were solving an equation. You want to get certain things on one side of the equation all by itself. In this case, we're trying to get to B2, but it's trapped inside of a parentheses, and it has things on both sides. The first thing, and probably the easiest, is I'm going to divide by h on both sides. That'll get rid of the h that's on the back side of the parenthesis. It doesn't matter what order you do some of this. You may have done this already and did it in a different order. What that leaves you with is a over h equals 1/2 b1 plus b2. So because that was multiplying, I divide to undo it. Now I got this 1/2 in front. In order to get rid of a fraction that's multiplied times something, you flip it and times. So that's 2 over 1, and I must do it on the other side of the equation as well. Flip and times fractions in front of something that you want by itself. Christopher, do you have your packet? Bernal? Find your homework packet, please. This is hard. Let's do it together. So that cancels here. On the other side, that 2 is going to stay on top of a fraction, 2a, and on the bottom you have 1 times h, or just an h. On this side, we now have everything out of the back and the front of the parentheses. I can just let those guys free, B1 and B2. The last step, remember, we're trying to get, oh, I put the arrow by B. We're trying to get B1 by itself, and we're moving things. It's surrounded by a lot of stuff. First thing we moved was the H. Second thing we moved was the 1/2. Now the last thing we need to move, we're trying to get B1 by itself, is that B2. So we're going to subtract the B2 from both sides. We're subtracting a B2 because that was added to B1, and add and subtract. Keep walking, Noodle. Add and subtract cancel each other out. The way that we're going to write that is B1 equals. So B1 is now all by itself on one side of the equation. I have 2a over h that I now need to subtract B2.
This is really confusing.
Yes,
Yeah,
but you take it step by step, and the main goal was to get B1 by itself. This one down here, number 21, is more similar to what you did in the quiz.
That one.
I'm going to write it a little bit bigger.
Cool, thank you.
You had a one in the quiz that was circumference of a circle. This is area. And again, they want to get r by itself. The first thing I'm going to do is r squared is being times by pi. I'm going to divide by pi to cancel that out. I have to do the same thing to the other side. Goodbye to the pi. That leaves me r squared equals a over pi. Who knows how to get an r undo a square?
Minus.
No. What's square root? The opposite or reverse of squaring something is take a square root of it. You have to do that on both sides of the equation. That's going to give you a single r, no longer squared, equals, this whole thing, you're just going to leave it as it is, a over pi inside of a square root. This is the answer here. This is the answer here. Now, I know some of you are saying, why in the heck are we doing this? Well, one place you've been asked to do it that has more connection to beginning math is when you have to get an equation in y equals form. Okay, so I don't see one of those. I'm going to make one on the bottom of the next page. 2x plus 3y equals 6. You've already had a couple times where you were asked, it's okay, folks, he can deal with it. Hello? To solve for y. Okay, at your level of math, it's not uncommon to be asked to solve for y. Some of these other formulas you will use in higher math, you will use in physics, you will use in other places. And moving it around the variable allows you to put it into the calculator different ways. Okay, this one, if I want to get y by itself, first thing I'm going to do is minus a 2x, because that's being added to the y. So reverse of adding is subtract. You do it on the other side of the equation as well. That leaves 3y all by itself, and then the way you write this is you write the minus 2x first, and you write the 6 second. Then you need to divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. Y equals, we did that divide by 3 because y was getting multiplied by 3. Now we leave this as a fraction. It doesn't reduce. But what's 6 divided by 3? 2. The reason we might want to do something like this is change that to a different form is to, now it's in slope-intercept form. We could graph it. Now it's in y equals form. Maybe we want to put it into our calculator and use it in a table. All right. But sometimes you need to rearrange stuff. Let's do one more. 22 at the top of the page. You don't have to do 24. The one we just did, if you copied it down, I'll count for 24. The formula for volume is this. Solve for h. That means we want to get h by itself. We want to move everything else that is next to it. Now the two things that are next to it are both right exactly next to it. No plus, no minus. So that means they're multiplied. What's the reverse of multiply?
Division.
So we're going to divide, and we can do it in one step. Pi r squared here. That'll cancel. You can see how I can cancel that out. You also have to do it on the other side. Pi r squared. We did that so we could cancel these two and get h by itself. H equals v on top, pi r squared on bottom, and that's what they're asking you to do. Does that help, Molly? Okay. Other questions on the packet since we have it out and it appears to be packet time?
Yes.
Did you say yes? Yes.
Number 35 and 36.
Can you tell me what page?
366.
366.
Are you supposed to like from like 31 to like is it all matching up to like this problem?
No, this problem is an example of the same kind. So they have it all filled in.
No, like these problems and then like on the back.
Well, let's see. I think we need to read right here what it says. 38. Yi has $700 to deposit in an account. That's a starting amount. The interest rate available for the account is 6%. Okay? use simple and compound interest formula to complete the table. So we're going to say simple interest account. That's going to be, maybe I should do it over here before I put it into the table. Simple interest account, P at a time t equals P0 plus P0 times R, and R is 6%, that's 0.06 times T. The reason I did it over here is I got the 700 and the 0.06 from what it said up here on top, but I can simplify that 700 times 0.06 to fit it into my little table. On, clear, 700 times 0.06. That's 42. So this is 700 plus, I just multiplied those two, 42t. That's what I'm going to write right here for the expression in simple interest. Compound interest, we're going to use the same starting amount and the same interest rate, but compound has a different formula. P of t equals, am I getting low on the board? Okay, compound interest goes P0 times 1 plus R raised to the t. Again, I can simplify that before I move it over to the table. 700 times 1.06. I can add those two. First up here I timesed, here I'm adding. I still don't know what t is. This is kind of the generic formula, and that's what comes over here. 700 plus, times 1.06 t as a little exponent. Let's see. Time is going this way. The units are going to be dollars. Both of these are bank accounts. At time 0, they're both exactly the same. That's the starting amount. Okay. Now, we have a couple of different things we can do to fill in this table. These are t values. You could get a separate piece of paper or on your calculator, load 3 in for t, figure it out. Load 3 in for t, figure it out. We're also getting better at our calculators. I think I'm going to try and set up a table to do it in the calculator. I'm going to go to y equals, clear out yesterday's work. The first expression is going to be the simple interest formula. 700 plus 42t. The second expression I'm going to put in is a compound interest formula. 700 times, and I use a parentheses, 1.06 parentheses. I need to use my caret button to get it go up into an exponent, and that's where the variable goes. So I'm going to have a table with a couple different columns. One column will have my simple interest results. The next column should have my compound. I go second table set. I need to start at 0. And I'm probably going to need to go up by 1s because I have a 3. I need to find a 10. I need to find a 20. So we're going to go up 1. So I'm up here in a little world all by myself. There we go. Okay, so table set. First we did y equals, loaded our formulas. Second, we're doing table set. Now we're going to go second table that's above the graph. All right, verifying. At time 0, I see 700 and 700. Now I need to scroll down to t equals 3. I see 826 and 833.71. So it took a little time setting it up, but now it's going to go quick. Now I got to go down to where x equals 10. All right. 1, 1, 2, 0. And for decimals, I'm going to put 2 because this is money. And now time 20. I keep scrolling down. All right. And 1, 5, 4, 0. 2, 2, 4, 5. If we had a lot of numbers, we may need to use the value feature. Hello? Hello? If we have a lot of numbers, you may have to do them individually and use the value button. But we only had a couple, and that was pretty easy to scroll through and find. Okay? But it started, Brody, by reading this. And kind of the directions were right here. You had to do a simple and compound interest. All right? So, how about you guys right now do number 39 with the people at your table? All right? I will walk around and see how it's going.